Hey guys, welcome back. It's another episode of D&D Beyond live ? I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna call these shows.
We are live.
Yeah, we are live. That's true.
That's
we are
correct.
D&D Beyond. Also
Yeah.
true.
Nailed it.
I'm Joe Starr. I'm the content wench here at what's the masculine for wench? I feel like I shouldn't gender wench. I used to know.
Actually don't know.
But that said, I am the genderless content wench here at D&D Beyond. Welcome to the show. I'm joined by Saige Ryan.
Hi. I googled it. It's Swain, I believe.
Thank you. It is Swain. I even have I wrote that in a screenplay once upon a time. How did I forget Swain? I am the content Swain here at D&D Beyond. Today, we're talking about multiclassing, a really sort of basic like 101 guide to multiclassing. It's one of those things that I still just sort of avoid in the game because it makes my eyes glaze over a little bit and my brain leak out of my ears a little. I'm good at a lot of things. Rules and technicalities and complications are not things that I'm good at. So it's something I generally just skip for the first time. I actually multiclassed a character for the first time in a game with you, Saige Ryan. So that was my first.
That was your first multiclass?
That was my first multiclass. So
I'm so flattered.
Oh, stop.
It was a great character.
So we're gonna start like straight from the basic. Again, I want this to be like a really beginner-friendly guide to multiclassing. Chat, here's what we're gonna do. As we sort of walk through the basics of multiclassing with the Sage of multiclassing, Saige, you guys are gonna actually help us build this character. So I'm checking out chat. So things like names and race and what we're actually gonna smush together. You guys are gonna get in there with us and help out a little bit. And hopefully I don't have any company secrets open in Chrome that will get me fired for accidentally popping up as we do this. We'll find
Only
out.
Personal secrets.
Only, my deep personal secrets.
Only your journal.
Yeah, he jokes as he quickly closes every other tab in his Chrome browser, just in case. So let's jump into this. Hey, Saige Ryan.
Yeah, hey.
What's multiclassing?
Multiclassing is the process of taking levels in another class, aside from the base class you chose when you built your character. If you are in an ongoing campaign that started at a low level, it's common for people to start taking a level in another class at a minimum of about level 5. So, you could be building up a paladin, and then at level 5, you're like, actually, I'd like to take a couple of levels of cleric because, oh my God, I didn't realize that everyone in my party was going to be dying all of the time. That's a personal one. In general, there are requirements that you need to meet for multiclassing in the same way that if you were building it, there are certain ones that require a certain level of intelligence or a certain level of charisma for spell casting. So you have to be mindful of those. Other than that, there's really not a lot of limitation on what you can do. And I think that if you've been playing Dungeons and Dragons for a long time, this is like the next evolution of like re-falling in love with the game and being able to, you're like, I've done everything. I've played every class. I bet you haven't. I don't believe you.
I think you're lying.
I think you're lying.
Well, I think you bring up a cool point about why you would want to dip your toes into multiclassing. I think there's kind of two chief reasons. Like one is, I think, a practical reason in playing the game.
Yeah.
You find out that, there's a hole in your party that kind of needs to be filled. And so if you've got a fast and loose DM that just wants everyone to have fun and you're like, hey, actually, can we make my character a multi-class? And I'll probably just be like, yeah. Or if you want to tie into what would probably be a second reason, it would be character flavor. Like multi-classing and you run with this for me, but would multiclassing be like a really solid way to sort of add some flavor to your character?
Absolutely. Particularly if your game is doing milestone leveling, I think that it can be really effective in that, because I think that there are these like big moments that happen, and it might be meeting a mentor for your character that follows a deity that has nothing to do with your character. And then it might be like, hey, I just took a couple levels of warlock. I just made that person my patron.
Made a deal.
I made a deal because I'm trying to gain some more power. Which I think is really interesting. I think that I'm a spellcaster, so like my examples are always spellcasters. But there could be a traumatic big event that happens, and you're like, I want to be able to rage. Actually, I think I would really like to be able to rage. I'm going to start multiclassing into barbarian, which I've always thought would be a very fun idea for somebody who's like, I was like a monk, for instance.
A monkbarian.
It's like, right, I've been so good my whole life. And then just like, I don't know, what did your DM put you through? Throw it right back at them.
So what we're saying is multiclassing is really good for processing trauma.
Yes.
That sounds super fun.
Yeah,
well,
healthy.
hey, let's dig in to a character sheet and chat. I see you, and I have a very impractical way of checking in on chat. On my phone, and I don't have a good place to put my phone. So if you see me just doing a lot of inhuman things with my head, it's because I'm trying to decide where I want to put.
I can also see chat. I can help.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So chat, as we start talking, the first step, of any character, probably not the most important step for how to multi-class, but we got to name this character. So
you got to name the character.
Yeah, you got to name the character. So we're using, I don't know if you're familiar with this tool set, D&D Beyond. But it's really fantastic, and IMO it makes multiclassing really simple.
And 100%. I would not multiclass on paper. You couldn't make me do it.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I couldn't do it. I'm not good enough at math for that. I'm not good enough at figure. Like, no, I couldn't do it.
Well, and look, I'm not good at math either. And I think sometimes that just in general, not just multiclassing, but that is a reason people kind of go D&D. And I would argue that if math is a gatekeeper for you, D&D Beyond smashes that math gate.
I haven't done math in years.
DM, I don't even think about numbers. DM man and because I never think about numbers, this is the first time I'm reading the numbers 1198 in DM man 1198, but he says name it Brian. So this is Brian.
Brian.
My brother's name.
I love it.
So this multi-class character we're going to make is named Brian. This character is private. Thank you very much.
It's a secret.
Well, as we sort of pick a race for our character, Saige, I know a lot of people like to. I'm always a very like rule of cool and what's a fun character concept kind of player. Like who makes the best what normally isn't important to me, but for the sake of argument, like let's try to make the best what. And I know we're doing it sort of backwards because we're not did I close the tab with vmix on it, Will? How? Oh God, I did. Hang on just a second.
Ooh, I love this suggestion. Tharpy in chat said a fairy barbarian.
I love that, Saige. Keep talking about it for a minute while
I think that would be lovely. I haven't gotten to build a fairy yet. Anyone who's ever played with me knows that if you invite me to a new campaign, I will be playing whatever is in Unearthed Arcana at that time, which is some people's least favorite thing about me. But I love playing UA. Again, it's always these things that I'm like, if you play D&D 4 days a week, like I do, ways to keep it spicy, and things like playing the new UA, I'm very much always on top of. So I think a fairy would be a fun place to start.
Oh, I hear you. And just on UA in general, I absolutely hear you. No one will let me play my reborn fishman yet, made of different fish parts, but it's gonna happen. Will, voice of God in my ear, and much smarter man than I think we're good to go.
Fishman. Hey, look. Excellent. Hey, what's the name of your reborn fishman?
Oh, well, I think it was just Herc, Hurk, because that's the noise he makes, because he's just a monstrosity of different fish.
I love that so much. Also, someone in chat said, I think that Joe would prefer Rabbitfolk given his love of animated rabbits.
Yeah, I'm so glad that my first impression with the D&D Beyond audience was that I really like characters.
Cool.
You know, with that said, so what's a good all-around race do you think, for
I
just kind
mean,
of like different combinations?
human
And
is a little OP. If we want to, like, I never play humans. I never play humans because I'm like, I have to be a human all day. Why would I be a human in
this
Dungeons
is
and
true.
Dragons?
This is
But
absolutely true.
humans are a very, very well balanced class, I would say, when it comes to just like all of the advantages that you can get off the bat.
Okay, cool. Well, then, you know what? Let's go human today.
All right.
Let's go normal. And someday reborn grung.
Humans.
Someday reborn grung.
Look,
Someday.
I start playing a reborn as of tonight. I am
Oh yes, that's
excited.
true. Hey,
Yes.
while we're doing this, where are you doing that?
Oh, on the official Wizards of the Coast YouTube channel. I'm part of the Black Dice Society. It is a new Wizards of the Coast official stream set in the horrifying place of Ravenloft.
That is going to be a fantastic show. I really encourage you guys to watch it. A lot of friends of the channel on there,
I'm very
and a lot of
excited.
really phenomenal performers. Okay, here we go. Let me hang on. Let me choose
Ooh,
the
someone
most.
said Rabbitfolk are surprisingly strong as tieflings. That's very interesting.
Wait a minute. Should we just back up and just make a rabbit? Should we do this?
I mean, yeah, probably.
I've
Yeah,
really
we should.
confused all the new, all the people who are 101 like coming in, to really learn for the first time. I've already really confused them. And I apologize
It's
for
very
that, but
easy, y'all.
we're gonna get through this
I think what
together.
you've done is
Where my
show
rabbit?
them that,
Yeah,
and
here we
I'm
go.
someone who's very indecisive. What you've showed them is if you change your mind, it's very easy to go back and change.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, especially with the D&D Beyond digital tool set.
Right.
So I've got my Rabbitfolk. Hang on, let me
I
real
haven't
quick.
built a Rabbitfolk before. I'm very excited.
I'm very excited. Let me and hang on, we can always go back and change this stuff to I'm going to pick some spellcasty sounding things because I have a feeling
that
you're
sounds
gonna want to
great.
want to
me?
spellcasty. And let's have our rabbit also speak dwarf. Why not?
Ooh, fun.
Ooh, we even have this rabbit is small. This
Yeah, that
rabbit
makes
has some
sense.
small.
A
Okay,
tiny
so
one.
here we go. Let's talk multiclassing here a little bit. So let's I think you've talked to me before about this. It's important to sort of, I mean, it's not important if you just want to play like a ridiculous character for the fun of it.
Yes.
I say no combination is off limits. But let's say someone wants to build a car that runs.
Right.
What are some sort of rules of thumb in terms of combining character classes?
I mean, think about your modifiers is obviously going to be the big thing. Think about classes that will play nicely together where you're not trying to be like, oh, this one really requires my strength and this one ideally really requires my charisma. If you're able to find something that kind of leans on the same stats, that can be very, 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 very helpful. I am a big druid fan. I would love to hear what chat thinks about some options maybe around that.
Ooh, I dig that. Yeah. Let's figure out what's a multi-class with a druid. Although Chili Draws in chat said a Rabbitfolk Way of the Drunken Master / Swashbuckler Rogue, which sounds delightful. But Sage, you're my guest, and you love druids, so we're gonna multi-class with a druid, I think. So
druids are so versatile with multi-classing. They're such an easy class to multi-class. Because they require similar stats to like pretty much every spellcaster.
Well, what are some of your favorite druid multi-classing combinations?
I love a druid sorcerer combination very, very much. I think that could be a lot of fun. I think that you could take like a druid warlock combination that would be a really good time as well. I think a druid bard could be very interesting because I'm picturing very like Disney animals.
Yeah.
That you're like transforming into like little Cinderella singing birds. So those are some of my ideas. I see Fading at the Edges said druid / monk or barbarian would be very interesting.
You want to try a monk? Let's challenge the thesis of how easy it is to multi-class and take you out of your comfort level a little bit.
Yeah.
And let's go druid monk. And I do also appreciate oh god, where did it go? Who had this observation? Because it was great. Someone asked. Dang, oh man, where did it go? Someone asked, and I lost it in the chat, and I apologize, but someone asked if a druid Rabbitfolk could turn into a human. which made me laugh quite a bit.
Chili Draw is also, that is such a fun idea. A Circle of Stars Druid and a Celestial Warlock.
Oh, that's super
That's
fun.
brilliant.
That's super fun.
I love that idea.
But
Yeah. So
this
what
is my
Druid circle
party,
and how
and I
many
want a monk.
levels are we taking, Joe?
Well, what levels, Saige, can you start really multi-classing at? But then also, what levels would you really recommend people start multi-classing?
I would say if our base class is Druid, I mean, it depends on, of course, the level of the campaign you're playing in. Because like if you're building for a level 20 campaign, then like I'm going to take probably 15 levels of Druid and like 5 in Monk, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But it depends on what you're building for. I would say level 5 is have at least 5 levels in your base class. Okay. You can much sooner. I mean, by level 3, a Druid is already very interesting, but I would say a minimum of 5 levels in Druid would be my recommendation for that. Just so it's like useful and you get to have all of the Druid fun. Yeah.
So let's start with our 5 levels in Druid. And again, by the way, look how easy it is to just toggle all my level situations in D&D Beyond. And, also if you just want to make 1 million multi-class characters when you subscribe to D&D Beyond.
That's what I do.
An official D&D toolset of D&D 5th edition. You can make unlimited characters. This one's full infomercial, but I hope you guys are having a good time.
If I scrolled through the amount of characters that I have sitting on my D&D Beyond right now, it's like borderline embarrassing.
I just cleaned mine out and it was heartbreaking and yet healing and cleansing in a way.
I'm not ready for that.
Yeah. It was like saging a room. Sorry, man. As name puns, I apologize. Not meant in this case. But it was like saging a room while punching myself in the face.
Wow. We've all done that before.
Felt strange. Who hasn't? Okay, so we have set our level 5 Druid.
Selected your proficiencies, ability score modifiers.
Yeah. What do you want in here? Since we're going monk. What skills, what proficiencies do you think we should jump in here?
Okay, I'm a terrible min-maxer because my proficiencies are always based on what I think is going to be a storytelling element pretty much entirely. And I know they should be useful based on my class, but usually I'm like, actually she pickpockets, so it's based on that. So I guess chat, what's the story of a Druid monk?
Yeah, chat, let us know some proficiencies. And in the meantime, Saige, you're my guest and a Druid aficionado. What's a great Druid circle would
They're
all
match? Good.
I know that. They're all good. But what would match a monk?
What would match a monk? I guess it depends on the order you're in, but I think a Circle of Spores could be really interesting, which would take it to spooky monk territory. And I think that your like monastery or wherever you're from there has to be spooky stuff.
I'm very into that. You know what? I've always sort of wanted an excuse to make a Circle of Spores Druid and just haven't yet. So
yes,
I think that's where we're going.
Awesome.
I absolutely think that's where we're going.
I like the idea of challenging the like traditional conception of a monk too, being this like good, pious,
yeah, no, absolutely. Well, this is a cool way to, because we've been talking a lot in previous weeks, especially talking about some of the villains in Candlekeep and stuff like that, sort of challenging, like you just said, sort of challenging the very basic, like sort of surface stereotypical ideas of like a martial arts based character and a monk based character. And I think a Circle of Spores character who looks at death in such an interesting way and is probably very misunderstood by the people around them is a really cool way to explore that. So look at you. That said, I think as chat, let's see here, has chat.
Nothing takes me longer than when I decide to take a feat. Half the time I will choose an ability score improvement because I could just stare at the options for different feats for days.
No, I hear you. But in this case, let's do ability scores.
Yeah.
Because I think as we're building towards this monk, like what's a nice way where do you think should they be based in druid? Should they all be building towards monk? Should they sort of split down the middle?
I think especially at the level we've taken right now, it should be a pretty good split.
Okay, cool.
Since we've only taken 5 levels of druid, and I don't know what we're going to take yet in monk, whether it's like, hey, we're level 6 and we're just taking our first level because you might be mid campaign and you're like, hey, at this level, I'm going to start taking monk. Or it could be like, hey, I'm building for a level 10 campaign. So I get 5 levels in monk. So I get my 5 key points and my extra attack and stunning strike.
Right. And then, of course, as I do, because I never memorize anything, because I have it all in front of me on dndbeyond.com, I go, wait, what should I take in Druid again? And I go up here to classes, to Druid, and I roll over here to creating a Druid, and I go, oh yeah, Wisdom.
Yes.
And while
you're
I'm
gonna
here,
need some decks for your monk.
yeah, then I'm gonna need that sweet dex. Let me get back to my characters. You guys are going to see some of the characters I play in my games. Uh-oh. And hey, look at that. That's this gentleman visited one of your games over on Pixel Circus recently.
Yeah. And it was lovely.
Okay. Yeah.
He was a lovely gentleman.
Character not ready. I know. Go to the character builder. Okay, so we need some wisdom improvements and we need some dexterity improvements. Boom.
Yes.
And I don't know if chat hit us with any proficiencies or not.
Oh, let's see. Okay. There was a giveaway in the middle.
But now that we know that they're Circle of Spores, that might give us some sort of interesting ideas into what proficiencies might be good for that character. Nature, as a Circle of Spores
nature
druid.
Survival would be interesting.
Yeah. I think let's go with those.
Survival. Yeah,
let's go.
That sounds great.
Survival.
Connect to the earth.
I love this. And then, of course, as you're building your character, don't forget to select your spells, which we'll do sort of as we. Do you do that first or last?
No, I finish building my character, and then from the character sheet, I go and I manage my spells.
I always do that too, and I wish I could say that it wasn't because I just forget to do it, but it's because I forget to do it.
I also, again, this comes down to me like not being a min-maxer, and at the end of the day, I finish my character, I finish my backstory, and then I choose spells that I think will be like a fun narrative piece. Like awesome. I'm gonna battle and I'm gonna try and make them effective in combat, but like my Circle of Wildfire Druid, I know that how I've built her, I'm going to choose all fire spells. And if something is resistant to fire, I'm just done for.
Love that. And because I am a big fan of Ronin Warriors, aka Samurai Troopers, anytime my Circle of Wildfire Druid does anything, I yell Circle of Wildfire.
That's amazing.
That's a very dumb anime joke. I apologize. Okay, here we go. Here's the crux. Here's the crux of multiclassing. Down here at the bottom, we're just going to click add another class, baby. If you guys are wondering what all this weird, I don't know if Will, if we have that cropped out or not, but just in case you guys are like, why can I see the matrix? It's because I work here and I get to see the matrix of the website a little bit. And I have a lot of viruses on my computer.
Wait, you work here?
I do. It's weird, right? So a grain of salt, just disclosure, every time I say D&D Beyond's great, grain of salt, I work for them.
Hey,
okay, here we go. So we're adding.
That means when I say it, it means something.
Yeah, exactly. I love this infomercial episode, Saige. Thank you so much for doing it. What we needed was like the bowl of Cheetos, like on the couch, and the old lady trying to reach for them and knocking over the entire bowl, and then looking at the camera and being like, "There's got to be a better way." Okay,
do you want to be the old lady or the bowl of Cheetos?
I mean, I'm the bowl of Cheetos. I know who I am. I'm the bowl of Cheetos all my life. But okay, so we're here. We're selecting our next class. It's time to take that
monk. Get punchy.
Let's get punchy in monk.
How many levels can we have? I'm setting this up. You're the DM of this campaign. What level are we at?
If I'm the DM of this campaign, let's see here. Let's say let's say we've reached level 10.
Yeah.
And, because you know what? You deserve a treat because you've been coming to my house every Sunday to the point where we've actually hit level 10. So you deserve a treat. Your druid has started taking karate classes at the Y as a special treat. and has gained this multi-class of monk. So how many levels, Saige Ryan, would you like to take in monk? And how many would you like in druid?
Ooh, I think, okay. So 5 is a really good level for monk. Let's split it 50-50 because at 5th level, you get an extra attack and you have 5 key points to expend when doing things, which is really, really good. That's a good monk level. Like that's a better balanced character than I've ever played in my life.
I love that. And everyone will also notice that there is also the option to add another class. So you can really kind of go insane.
Oh yeah, you can just take a level in everything if you really want to.
And the nice thing is, look, if you're dumb like me and not smart like Saige, who can recall a lot of this information, a really great, seriously, like a great way to just be like, well, what if I do this? Again, D&D Beyond, super easy way to just start making absurd combinations of characters. But that said, here is our druid monk. I'm hitting next.
I just put it in chat. I'm not smart. I'm looking at the D&D Beyond monk page.
No, you're smart. Don't.
I know about multiclassing, but also I've never played a monk.
Don't shatter the illusion. Well, congratulations, because you're about to start playing Brian.
Hello, it's me, Brian.
Brian, the legendary druid / monk. There are those who call me Brian.
I feel like I have to shatter the illusion to some extent that like no one remembers all of this, and it's okay if you don't. You don't have to know all of this.
That's true. That's true.
There are so many classes, and if you have been playing for a long time, you've played so many different ones that you're like, what did I get at level 5?
But
for which class?
So well. You do it so well. So here we are. We're at ability scores. Let's go standard array. I like rolling a lot. But just, sort of for the sake of time, for the sake of simplifying, typically if you're building a character for the very first time, you have the option to roll your stats. You can roll 3 sets basically, and then pick the set that you like the most for your character. Typically, you're going to want to, unless for role-playing purposes, you want to make the worst monk, like the guy from Kung Pao that like can't fight and has squeaky
I'm bleeding.
shoes.
That means I'm winning.
That means I'm winning. That movie. So unless you really want to do something like that, they're bad at. They taught me to fight bad on purpose. No, someone says that to him. Anyway, sorry. But for just sort of ease and sake of simplicity, we're going to take the standard array. Which means that we have, options of 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, and 15 to assign as ability scores. So where do we want to put, Saige Ryan, our top score of 15, and where do we want to put our 14?
Okay. I think that we should probably prioritize our druid base level, right? Okay, so let me take a look at my own stats here for a couple of my druids as well.
I take that.
So if you'll just give me a second, distract them quickly.
I will absolutely. Hey guys. Did you know that Van Richten's guide to Ravenloft is available for pre-order right now on the D&D Beyond Marketplace? It's going to come with all sorts of really cool and spooky pre-order bonuses like digital dice, character frames, all sorts of cool character sheet customizations. And very soon, we're going to put out some stuff as to both not just how to really pimp out your character sheet on dndbeyond.com, but why we think it's important here. I know sometimes people are like, character frames, okay, but we have sort of a grander vision of immersion with dndbeyond.com. And very soon, both on the site and in dev updates, we're going to be talking to you a lot more about that grand strategic vision. I don't know if I was supposed to say that just now. But Saige put me on the spot, and when you put me on the spot, I give away company secrets. Hey, Saige.
Exciting. I'll keep that in mind. So let's start with our charisma.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna
Or
assign
I'm
a
sorry, our
15.
wisdom, actually. A wisdom. I
Oh
apologize. Our
no.
wisdom is what I meant to say.
Oh,
Take it back.
it's
So
okay.
a
Here
16
we go.
wisdom, or a 15, whatever we have in standard array. I'm a point by most of the time, so I will never remember the numbers of standard array. And then I would say let's give it to our decks, so that way we prioritize monk next.
Our monk a little bit. Okay, cool.
And then from here, I mean, con is important for everybody, so I'd usually go to con next on like almost any build to just try and stay alive.
So we'll put that 13 into Constitution.
Yeah. From here, it's a little bit of flavor. I would love chat's opinion on whether this is a charismatic monk Circle of Spores druid or no charisma whatsoever, and they're like super monotone and just like always processing the endless possibilities of the afterlife.
That's very true. Although, you know, a lot of charismatic people, you know, also do that. Are they smart? Are they strong? Okay, Chanklin in chat says no charisma.
No charisma.
So we're going for it. So that's where the 8 goes.
All right.
I feel like they've got to be probably a little smart.
Yeah.
To go
it
with this
sounds
character.
like what we're building is smart.
Yeah. And you know what? The martial arts aren't about strength, right? They're about power of spirit.
Yeah.
And we're really going to put that to the test with this character. But boom,
that looks good to me.
So we've got all that stuff.
Brian.
You know, Brian. So of course, now guys, from here, you know, you can pick your backgrounds, all that
like
good
an
stuff.
Acolyte or something.
Yeah, you can go in here. You can pick your like acolyte.
I feel like that makes sense.
A weird order of martial arts druids.
Yes.
I absolutely dig that. You can then, of course, go in, choose your equipment, your starting equipment, sort of gussy up that inventory. Of course, you know, this inventory is probably very gussied based on the fact that, again, Saige, you've been coming over every Sunday, bringing a bag of chips for years now to get this character to level 10, which I'm super stoked about.
I'd never show up empty-handed.
No, I appreciate that. It's important as a player to bring snacks. But let's go through very quickly. Well, first I apologize. I forgot to pick up class features for Monk.
Ooh, yeah. Okay. So
look how easy it is to unscrew up on D&D Beyond. So we need our tradition and we have another ability score improvement.
Ooh. So the monk traditions I'm less familiar with. I'm looking at them right now. Way of Shadow is kind of like spooky and interesting.
Yeah. Well, how about we go to ability score improvement and chat can choose a tradition.
Ooh, please and thank you. All right, what do we got for ability score improvements? Let's think.
So we could endlessly scroll feats together, but let's focus on ability score improvements.
I think Twitch doesn't allow feat.
Okay. Well, then there we go. Yeah.
Bad joke. I'm sorry.
Oh wait. Boo. You're fired. Get off the stream, Saige Ryan.
Perfect.
All right, so let's do our ability scores here. So should we just keep cranking sort of our sort of top? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna say let's get that wisdom and dex up.
Okay, let's keep getting that wisdom and dex up then.
Let's be good at what we do.
Absolutely.
And nothing else.
Yeah, nothing else. But then, you know, again, you know, you have all of these basic monk features that now go along with all of your druidic spells and all that cool stuff, like Deflect Missile, which is one of my favorite things in the world, made famous by Marisha Ray on Critical Role. You know, you've got Slow Fall, Extra Attack, Stunning Strike, all of this really, really cool stuff.
They picked such a good one. Hold on, who said that? Let me see who said it. Chili Draws said Way of the Long Death.
Ooh, that makes total sense.
That makes total sense, and that's so good. The description on D&D Beyond is monks in the way of death are obsessed with the meaning and mechanics of dying. They capture creatures and prepare elaborate experiments to capture, record, and understand the moments of their demise. They then use this knowledge to guide their understanding of martial arts, yielding a deadly fighting style. Yes! Brilliant.
That is fantastic. So
horrifying.
For the sake of time, Saige, you know, now we sort of go in here and here are spells. I don't think we're going to go through and pick
Fair.
every spell. But I would suggest, just based on this character concept, that you focus on things that have to do, a little bit with death, with decay,
Yeah.
and even sort
Necrotic
of
damage.
necrotic damage, anything that sort of lets you cheat death a little bit. I think, works well here. And animate the dead, I think is a really cool spell that you can throw in here. I would, and also there would be an internal revolt at D&D Beyond if I didn't choose heat metal, the chosen official spell.
I actually knew that.
D&DBeyond.com.
That is also my favorite spell.
It's a very, very good spell. You're right at home here. Yeah, animate the dead, like we said. So that's what I would. Obviously you can pick whatever spells you want, but if you sort of want to stay thematic with sort of what we've built, that would be my advice.
And the cool thing about being a druid is you get to change your spells out every long rest.
Absolutely.
So you can choose those for now and then base it on flavor of what's happening in your game.
Which is very cool, especially, if you're a new player. Druid is a fun class. It's kind of like the old Columbia House deal. If you're old like me and remember Columbia House, you can just keep trying different spells with no commitment. Okay, cool. So there we go. Here's Brian, our Rabbitfolk. I forgot that he was a rabbit. Here's Brian, our Rabbitfolk Druid monk. He is super rad. We have all of these great unarmed attack options, along with all these druidic cantrip options like Chill Touch. In addition to Chill Touch, we have that flurry of blows. If I'm your DM, I'm probably going to allow you to somehow combine Chill Touch, Halo of Spores, and flurry of blows. Yeah, I just
ghostly
think
skeletal hands.
Yeah, I think that they should just absolutely match together. So
yes, I love that so much.
Hey, we've successfully multi-classed, Saige.
We multi-classed and it was very, very easy. I also would like to encourage, if anyone in chat can draw, if you want to do a little sketch of what Brian would look like to you and tag me and D&D Beyond on Twitter, I would love to see it.
I would not hate that at all. And even if you can't draw, quite frankly,
good point.
I encourage you to draw Brian and send Brian our way. I think Brian may be my favorite D&D Beyond based character now. That will have to appear in something. You know what? Actually, here's the deal, Saige Ryan. I am DMing a one shot for Jasper's Game Week, and I'm putting Brian in it.
Yes.
Somehow
is Brian an NPC that's just going to be around?
Yeah, he's gonna be an NPC. Or his order that now I'm creating in my head is that's what my game is going to be around is these weird rabbit folk. So perfect.
That's brilliant, and I love it.
Did two birds with one stone here, because I was also like, I don't know what my game's going to be about. So
it's about Brian now. It was always
about Brian now. Everything's about Brian, even in my family. So again, if you're watching in the future on YouTube, links to Jasper's Game Week are going to be in the video description. If you're watching here on Twitch, thank you guys so much for being here. Genuinely, we always really appreciate you guys being here. Candlekeep Mysteries on sale now. Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft available for pre-order. We have a lot of really cool stuff coming up, so I really appreciate you guys hanging in there as I learn the ropes and slowly become less and less terrible at this job. And I become less and less terrible at this job thanks to people like you, Saige Ryan. I really appreciate you being here.
Stop it. You're wonderful.
You guys are a fantastic community. As always, if you're watching this video and you're like, cool, wish I had people to play D&D Beyond with, or not D&D Beyond. I wish I had people to play D&D with, you absolutely do. I beg you guys, go check out the forums at dndbeyond.com. Go to our Discord. There are always a ton of people looking for players. There's always room at a table over there. And I really encourage you to take that chance and do it. You deserve to be able to play. Again, I will shout to the rooftops. The reason I really like being at this company is not just because my day job is elves, although that's a big part of it. I really believe that D&D Beyond really helps smash gates, because D&D is for everyone, and the mission of making that more and more accessible is really important to me. And we have made multiclassing, I feel like, very accessible today with your help, Saige. Thank you so much for being here. Where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me everywhere on the internet at Not Saige. I'm a streamer and content creator. I stream TTRPGs on the channel Pixel Circus. We are an independent channel of fools making foolish content. And tonight you can find me on the official Wizards of the Coast YouTube and Twitch channel for the Black Dice Society. I am playing a very spooky lady named Valentine, who's an aberrant mind sorcerer who will definitely be multi-classing soon. So
awesome. DM'd by a good friend of the channel and all around just really great gentleman, B. Dave Walters. So guys, make sure you check that out, and we'll see you back here again over at D&D Beyond. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, friends.
Ha ha ha!